Welcome to the Daily for Tuesday, January 8th with Simon Borg. I'm Jason Seguini. The big news today, Ryan Nelson stepping in as head coach at Toronto FC. Paul Mariner now parting ways with the club, Simon.
Yeah, we first heard about it earlier yesterday, and now it's official. And the controversial part of this is Paul Mariner, just a few weeks ago, was confirmed by the new president, Kevin Payne, as the head coach of Toronto FC. But presented this opportunity to bring Ryan Nelson in, a man who during his MLS career immediately won a lot of credibility, earned that captain's armband at DC United, if you remember, fairly quickly, then moved to England where he was a leader on every team he went to. And he's a charismatic guy, he's a leader of men. You take that opportunity, I think you have to do something maybe that you wouldn't want to do, which is let Paul Mariner go, one of the good guys in MLS. But this is too good an opportunity. And it's Kevin Payne, Jason, a guy who just a couple of years ago had hesitations about naming a young Ben Olsen head coach. Now he does it with Ryan Nelson.
Yeah, Ryan Nelson, his first head coaching job, his first coaching job since retiring as a player. One other coaching job out there that we're kind of following is, of course, the New York Red Bulls. They have the final vacancy in MLS, and there was some news on that front yesterday, Simon.
Yeah, Alexi Lalas over the weekend, ESPN's Alexi Lalas saying that Paulo Sousa is shaping up to be the head coach, the next head coach of the New York Red Bulls. And now yesterday we hear that Paulo Sousa has left his post with Videoton of Hungary, the club he's been coaching since mid-2011. So the first domino falls, and we'll see if we'll have more news on this today.
Well, Simon, we're getting ready to leave the 30-degree weather of New York for the 80-degree weather of South Florida because of the MLS Combine. It's a time where a lot of MLS fans get excited. How are their teams going to improve this year? And we found out another Generation Adidas signing yesterday, Eric Zavaleta. Very interesting prospect because he could play forward. He could be a center back on the MLS level. Where do you go on that debate?
Well, I think first you take him as a forward, Jason, because he scored 18 goals this year for Indiana, had the game-winning assist in the final against Georgetown to win the title for Indiana. But for me, his ability to hold the ball, bring the ball down, and bring others into the play is really being praised by coaches around the country when you speak to them. Yes, he played defender for youth national teams at center back, but when he shows you he has these tendencies up top, I think you have to draft him as a forward.
All right, we saw this last year with Andrew Wenger, the first overall pick going to Montreal, ended up playing forward for them. There were also 5 seniors that were signed. What that means essentially is there are definitely MLS teams interested. These guys are going to go high in the draft, expected to be in the first round. Those are Ryan Finley, a forward from Notre Dame, his teammate Dylan Powers, a central midfielder, another central midfielder, John Sturzer from the University of Maryland, also Kyle Becker. He's a left midfielder from Boston College, a little bit under the radar because Boston College was not very good this season. And of course, the final player I have to mention, Carlos Alvarez from UConn, a very creative central midfield player. You're going to see most of these guys at the Combine. One player you won't see at the Combine that we're just finding out, Walker Zimmerman, probably one of the top 2 center backs, maybe the top 2 players in the draft. He's going to miss the U20 camp and the Combine because of an injury. He will be at the draft, though, and he's expected to go in the top 3. Want to mention we're going to have full coverage of the Combine and Superdraft over the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned to MLS Soccer. You can check out the scouting report with our own Dan Hayek and the armchair analyst Matt Doyle as they break down what teams need and who could fill those needs as we head into the Superdraft. Simon, last night was a big night up in Newtown. The MLS family coming together with the Newtown community, giving clinics, signing autographs, a lot of stars going out there, including Landon Donovan, Dwayne De Rosario, Alexi Lalas, Mia Hamm. A great event to put on, really give them a little bit of sense of relief, take their minds off things up there.
And it worked because Newtown, soccer's big in this town. So for them to have the likes of Donovan, Alexi Lalas, and Mia Hamm showing up on their front doorstep, Dwayne De Rosario, all these MLS stars, and for it to come together in such a short amount of time, week and a half basically, to have all those people there, was a pretty special event and difficult to pull off.
Okay, one more thing that I want to mention, the MLS schedule comes out tomorrow at noon. I know MLS fans love it when the schedule comes out. They start dissecting it, figure out what games they want to go to, how their team's going to do based off, before they even know their roster. So that again, tomorrow afternoon, noon Eastern time. Of course, stay tuned to MLSsoccer.com for all the coverage, and we'll be back on the Daily tomorrow.